And here we go. Hi guys, I'm back. And what should I tell you? It has been a while, and I'm pretty aware that it was for some of you really disappointing to not have new episodes for like quite a while now, by 1 year. And I have good news for you. I'm back. And the podcast will be back. We will have a lot of new concepts, a lot of new stuff coming up, a lot of like super interesting like new interview partners and conversations coming for you. I have changed. And what that means, I want to explain to you in this short like new introduction episode to give you a short wrap up what happened to me in the last year, what this podcast project is and was all about, and why this actually fits pretty well with my personal development at the moment and where we will head to. So if that's interesting for you, just stick in here and yeah, let's go. So nearby 1 year ago, we hit like the full year of episode. That meant like we had each week one episode with an amazing yoga teacher or practitioner around the globe, even out of different fields, like from the Tantrism side, from the Ashtanga side, from like Kundalini, from sound healing, from breathwork. We had like all the topics you could imagine, and the feedback was great. Honestly, guys, I'm so happy and so thankful that all of you listened to that, and I was really, really honored to have the opportunity for you to have this great kind of conversations with people and to talk to them and even get some insights for my personal development. And it was quite a lot of work, to be honest, because it requires a lot if you want to record not just one episode per week, but even upload one episode per week, because you have like this post editing, you have to make like appointments with the people. There are still some people out there. I was reaching out like at least like 10, 20 times to make an appointment. We already did appointments. Some people don't show up, you name it. So there's a lot of like work and time going into a podcast, which is obviously not paying off at all, not at the size of a podcast. And we never had advertisement. That's why it was quite hard for me to maintain this kind of rhythm and this kind of like really precise thing, even when my teaching and my practicing at the same time really took off. Like some of you know, I'm practicing yoga now for around about 10 years, from talking from my first experience, like ever dropping into a yoga class on the beach, until like really discovering Ashtanga yoga, like, 3 years ago, and really deeping into that and trying to like really practicing more of this. And the last few years have been like increasingly teaching, which makes me even feel super, super humble to have the opportunity to teach and to do what I really love, and not just talk about it, but put it into practice and have people who trusting me doing this work with them. And so last year, the last episode have been recorded actually here in Florianopolis, Brazil, where I'm at the moment again. And yeah, it has been like a quite intense time for me. And one thing which was like always pretty clear for me was that the time of a lot of changes, a lot of like involvement has been transitioned into a phase where it comes down to like putting your effort into one thing and just like really focusing on one thing. And for somebody like me who has ADHD, it can be quite hard to not follow all of these shiny objects on the way. I have always like 10,000 ideas, from a clothing brand to like making retreats, like opening a shala, whatever. And what was really clear for me is that the only way to really deepen my practice and to really go deeper in my way of yoga is by spending more time on the mat. And not just teaching, but also getting back to my own practice. And I realized that when I want to teach and to practice, there has to be no space for something else. And so I had to stop the podcast for a while, even if I love the conversations. But at one point, you have to put all the knowledge you receive also into the real life, because all of this is what yoga is about, making your life experience. And so I decided to really transition into like hosting my own MySo program this summer in my hometown in Germany, like a middle-sized city, I would say, like around about 200 people to 200,000 people. Otherwise it would be like a really tiny city. But yeah, and to committing to one place, committing to one practice, committing to one style, committing even like to students, which evenly committed to me and to the practice, and committed to like put in the work. And this took a lot of time. I was hosting that like every morning beside work. So that means like waking up pretty early, not sleeping a lot while practicing, same even before the practice. And what should I say? It was a right decision for me because it really paid off. The people have been so happy about it and so grateful. And I was so like honored to have the opportunity to introduce people into this system, which deeply changed my life, and to give at least some of the nice advices I got here on the podcast from so many great teachers. And this consumed a lot of time. So in the end of the year, I was like hosting my first even India retreat, where I brought people from Europe, from Germany, especially to India, and traveled with them from the north of Rishikesh through Rajasthan and Pushkar down to Goa, which was amazing, evenly a great experience for me. And I saw, okay, you can really make this yoga thing work. You can really make it like a kind of living. And at the same time, I had the opportunity to teach a lot of students like online in my handstand program or arm balances advanced program, where you get like more and more progressions. And I saw, okay, this is slowly but slowly steady growing if I just put my intention and effort into this one thing. So now I think I reached a point where I will go back to Germany in a few weeks for the summer, to Europe in general, to teach, to host a retreat, to see family and friends, and to even deepen again my own practice. And this time I really want to take you with me on this journey. So what has changed is that this podcast was a long time all about like the learnings of others. And it was about like all these inputs we can receive from great teachers and all these people which are like have been on so many different podcasts. But what I saw as well when I looked at the analytics of the episodes is that some of the most like outreaching podcast episodes haven't been the great names which have been like on every podcast, which have been on every like YouTube channel already. It's the ones which are really original, which haven't been like a great following or haven't been like super famous before. They have been just like sharing their own story. And I think I want to do this more on the podcast. So I will even cut down on the time I need for the podcast, which is necessary to make it work, to make it sustainable, and to make it like for even you trustworthy, that you can say, okay, I will get every week an episode. And I think this is like a really tight thing, right? So my idea is to put up one episode each week. I will do this mainly in solo episodes, which means like I will have like shorter episodes, which are just me. I will have some longer episodes, which will be podcast interviews with other teachers, with other practitioners, with other interesting people, just out of this feeling that this is interesting for you. And I'm always like open for your recommendations. So I would love to like share more thoughts of mine with you, and I would love that you guys can share more of your thoughts with me. So this podcast will be what it always should be and used to be, like a platform for connection, a platform for real connection. I really want to make this like a kind of, we all learn together, we all grow together, and we all can take something from that. So for me, it's super important. And it would be a great feedback if you can just like interact with the podcast in every kind which is possible. If you leave a comment on Spotify or Apple, if you leave a review, if you share that podcast episode or the podcast on Instagram directly, and this really helps me out. And I will even close or like at least not longer post on the Yoga Out of the Box profile on Instagram. I will host everything just on one profile, on the Yoga Math profile, which is my main thing, because I don't have like the energy. I don't have a big team like you guys know now anymore. I just do everything by myself, and so I just will host everything like on this one platform. I will always like upload this each week and prepare it for you guys. I will try to make as much content out of it like possible, but I would love if you guys just show some affection for it and you just like can take something out of that for your life. And yeah, what should I say? I think that's basically it. That's where we are heading towards. I hope you guys are same stoked with me, and I hope to talk to you soon. So leave a comment, review the podcast, and if you have any questions, just let me know. All right. See you. Bye-bye.